New elections, and the CDU is now preparing to replace Friedrich Merz, to put it in soccer terms. At the same time, there are new elections for the city council in Saarland. The AfD has won the court case. We'll take a look at that first. But it seems that the Friedrich Merz's era is now coming to an end. Düsseldorf is now preparing to take power in Berlin. That's a fact that came out this morning. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And if you want to support this channel, I would really appreciate a like and a subscription. The fact is, they have nothing. The CDU is completely empty-handed. Not even any reforms.
The administrative court has now decided that the withdrawal of an AfD list was lawful, and the AfD did not violate the ban on multiple candidacies. The AfD district chairman and plaintiff, Werner Schwaben, welcomes the verdict in an interview with SR.
Above all, however, this verdict could also have a significant impact. There have been several cases here in Germany where AfD voters have been excluded. For example, in Ludwigshafen because of so-called loyalty to the constitution. This verdict, which was just handed down in Saarland yesterday in Saarland, brings so much more. And it brings so much more explosive potential in the coming days. I will definitely keep following this. My buddy Patrick, he already sent me some data about that yesterday. However, I would go over what exactly happened there in a separate video.
Ms. Shu, is there anything to it?
Those aren't rumors. I actually reported on it yesterday morning in my morning commentary. This is information that leading figures in the CDU from the ranks of the state premiers have joined forces in case the CDU loses the state election in Saxony-Anhalt.
Yes, and now 2 more ministers have joined this internal uprising who want to get rid of Friedrich Merz. And even though there were statements yesterday that no one in Germany intends to remove Friedrich Merz, now Mario Vogt and also Daniel Günther are on board to put it in soccer terms, substitute this chancellor because he is not delivering the performance he is actually supposed to. He has been dismissed. Dirk Wiese also made a statement this morning where he made it very clear all reforms are now on the table, except for those that are really important like pensions and the economy, and that things can move forward here, to put it simply. But those will definitely be on the table by the end of this month, and then there will be discussions so that the arguments can begin. The reforms that are so urgently needed. What he hinted at indirectly is that these probably won't come before the state elections. And we shouldn't think that now, while they're on summer break, they're not working.
The AfD, well,
Yes, probably is.
and afterwards can govern there alone. If that were the case, according to what I heard yesterday, it would hit Friedrich Merz, then Hendrik Wüster would come in.
And at the same time, they are also hoping that the AfD will govern there alone to finally get a so-called exit scenario without losing a massive number of votes. Because now you can make the same move as, for example, Gerhard Schröder did. So, I lost the state elections, the AfD. I'm definitely not the right chancellor, and I'm just going to be replaced now. But those are still, I would say, really cheap, yes, party tricks that are being used now to pretend, yes, to create the illusion of stability that isn't there. While Dirk Wiese didn't even bother about Bärbel Baas's complete howler this morning. The non-migrants here in Germany are all far right anyway. That was basically the message. However, Dirk Wiese wasn't even asked about this, and no, I am definitely not a non-migrant. I am a native-born German, a former Prussian here in Germany, and I want to be called that. German is enough, of course. How should people address you? Feel free to write it down below. I would be really interested.
After I said this, the Bild newspaper came out with a similar story, but with no new information. Today I hear that this could happen much earlier, precisely to prevent the worst in Saxony-Anhalt.
So, and I can confirm all of this because I actually received this information myself this morning. I just need to quickly read it out. Gordon Schnieder, Michael Kretschmer, Daniel Günther and Mario Vogt now want the Chancellor to step down, even though he was just in Saar, again in Brühl in the Sauerland yesterday. It's easy to get things mixed up. And since he was able to show off his last bit of power there again, the state premiers and the, well, high-ranking officials of the CDU have now clearly positioned themselves to really remove this chancellor, maybe try to turn things around a bit in Saxony-Anhalt. And let's be honest, does anyone here really believe that this can still work? Or is this the last bullet the CDU can fire before facing the inevitable?
Are there preparations in Düsseldorf for West taking over in Berlin? Because as I hear today, it's planned that Nathaniel Leminski, the Minister for Federal and European Affairs, why do you look so skeptical?
That was exactly the information I received this morning as well. Henrik Wurst is basically, in quotation marks, packing his bags, or is now handing over the important offices to Nathaniel Leminski. Nathaniel, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Leminski. Because they say to themselves, okay, we don't want to write off the elections as lost yet, neither in Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania nor in Saxony-Anhalt. And with a new face, with really a new face, we might actually be able to pull it off. But the actual date when he was supposed to be removed will probably fall during the summer break. And that's why, probably in the CDU, and less so in the SPD, they'll be working during the summer break to start the election campaign with a new chancellor. And I'm really curious to see how that turns out. But I really have to say, if Henrik Wurst becomes chancellor, it just makes my stomach turn. I just don't like this guy. Back then, I already fled from North Rhine-Westphalia, not because of Henrik Wurst, but I know what he did there. He just didn't lead this state well.
One of the state premiers stands up publicly and says the chancellor should go because he's leading the CDU and the country into disaster. Then, 4 or 5 other state premiers also stand up and agree with him.
At that point, people still aren't sure. Either Boris Rhein or Daniel Günther steps up, one of the two, who then says, no, we're not going along with this anymore. And the others that I've listed for you now, also yesterday and the day before, feel free to watch the videos about that again. I'll link them again here twice. They've now clearly said, this is the end of the line, and we're not going along with this anymore. You must not destroy the CDU. And no matter what you say now, we will replace you during the summer break.